Got a prototype here of something that probably looks familiar to you if you've ever used a Z-Finder from Zacuto. Back in the DSLR days, we would connect these to the back of a DSLR. I had one for many years, but this one is for your phone. Zacuto sent me the Smart Z-Finder here to give them feedback before it went to Kickstarter. It's on Kickstarter now though, so if you want to check one out, there's a link in the description. If you're interested in the Z-Finder after the campaign has ended though, it will be on their website and B&H, etc. Now this is a prototype, it's a pre-production model, and so this plastic stuff is 3D printed. And then this metal aspect, the aluminum here, very strong construction, but it will look different in the final version. They sent it to me really just to give them feedback on the initial design. So right now, this is a true first look of a prototype that is, I think, 90% of its way there. But this is an iPhone 13 Pro, and this is the Smart Finder, they call it. And it just connects to the back of the phone through a system like that. And it has magnets in there. And then you raise it up and you put your eye through the eyepiece, and under here is an opening so you can actually access the touchscreen of the phone. Although they recommend just pulling that off often if you're going to do anything complex. So basically it makes it where you can get the screen right up next to your eye and have a big, large view, and then also support the camera. And so they have this version here, that's the basic version, and it comes with a handle. Hey, Future Blake here. The basic model actually does not come with a handle. On Kickstarter, you can see the 3 different versions they're selling. The basic Smart Z-Finder setup, the Director's Bundle, which does come with a handle, and then the Cinematographer's Bundle, which comes with a handle, along with a shoulder support rig, and more. If you ever use Zacuto stuff, this is very heavy-duty, strong gear. This handle at the top will actually have a different type of connection to where you can adjust the handle, a rosette, and it'll be geared. So you can hold it right up to your eye. And I didn't show, this has this on the side, a cup for your hand. So if you weren't using the handle, you could just hold it like that and without the handle. And then on top, it has all these quarter 20s, and it has cold shoe attachments, and it has them on the side if you want to shoot vertical. It has all kinds of connectors, which is great. This is the setup that I probably like the best. It's more streamlined, you can just hold it. And as a matter of fact, if you buy this kit, you could shoot without the actual Smart Finder, depending on your setup. Just having this nice little grip, then have a microphone mounted up there or whatever. To me, that's pretty cool all by itself. And then they have one more setup that's definitely more robust. And this is based on the gear that's made for larger cameras. And then this handle here has a release on it, and it actually moves. And so that is what they're going to put on this as well when the final production version comes out. But in this case, if you wanted to use that setup, you connect the phone to the quick release. And so now you have more of a real DSLR / mirrorless camera kind of setup. And then you put this on. And then I think you can see this has a sliding shoulder adjustment. You would put this up against your shoulder, but then you have multiple points of contact. So you're holding this against your shoulder, and then you're putting your eye against that. And then you can also put your hand up here and hold it. Again, it makes it feel much more like a traditional camera. Now, I've reviewed a product similar to this called the IndyVice, and the IndyVice really turned your camera more into like a camcorder. This doesn't do that. The IndyVice was interesting. If you're doing corporate video kind of stuff, it's probably pretty good, but it was hard to get to the screen. You did it from the sides. This one is different. It has this opening at the bottom so you can easily get to the screen, or again, you can just pop it off real quickly and get back to it. But I would say that this setup is really more for run and gun shooters, like for news or event type stuff, or documentary, or if you're doing like an indie film, you're shooting handheld. It just gives you extra support and gives you the ability to stabilize your shots. But with the phone stabilization and then using this, especially with this against your shoulder and then holding this, or even just this handle, it is much, much smoother, much steadier footage than, in particular, just holding it with your hand. Oh, and I forgot, they do have a little brow. And so this brow can attach like so. Now, on traditional cameras, you do that typically to prevent flaring from lights or the sun or whatever. And so you actually can do that with a phone too, depending on how you're shooting. And so that's pretty cool. I like this setup. In the end, it just really depends on what you're doing. Some people argue that the idea behind shooting on a phone is to keep things more minimalist, and I understand that. But as phones get better and better, they are going to be used more in professional scenarios. And especially, again, like news, they're being used a lot right now, or event coverage. This is a great little rig for that. The only other thing that I need to mention is currently in this prototype, they only make it for the Pro model. This is a 13 Pro. They don't offer a Max version, which I think they need to. Hey, Future Blake here again. After I did my feedback and talked to Zacuto, they did tell me that they will be making a max size version of this, which is great news because that's the kind of phone I have. They've talked about offering it for some Android phones as well. To me, this doesn't look like it's exactly made, at least this brace here, this grip isn't made exactly for a phone, but I guess this back section is. This has to be cut to the exact dimensions of the phone. But that's it. That's a quick look at this prototype. But I think it's an interesting product from a very well-known, great brand. Zacuto makes excellent products and I've used them for years. And so we'll see how this works out. But I think they're off to a great start. And I really like seeing these traditional accessory manufacturers like Small Rig, for instance, and now Zacuto making stuff for the mobile filmmaking market. Again, this is on Kickstarter right now, so if you're interested in checking it out, go there. Or if you're watching this after that campaign has ended, it'll be available on Zacuto's website, B&H, etc. So what do you think? Does this kind of rig interest you? Let me know in the comments below.